Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm gonna be sharing 5 story ideas from my notes app. um, I think of this as a garage sale for my ideas because there's just so many of them scattered across different notes on my notes app, and I want to let some of them go. It's not like I would never explore them, but um, I want to let some of them go so that fresh ones can come. And I want to let some of them go because, you know, even if I write about them, it's going to be fundamentally different from the way any other writer is going to address them. It's going to be most likely unique and different because we're all unique and different individuals, right? So consider this a garage sale for my ideas, and if you love anyone, um, you feel free to explore it and have fun with it. Okay, treat it gently. It's my baby. All right. And also I wanted to say that just like in a garage sale, they're not all gonna be gems, right? So I don't know. Anyways, let's just get into the video. The first one is the first one I've titled Time Travel Crimes, and I'm just gonna read it. Man travels to the past to tell people when they'll die or facts about their life. It's not known at first, but eventually it's discovered he's a security guard for a time travel museum. Time travel has been banned in the future. The time travel machines were locked down, and all the research halted. The security personnel grew bored, and he researched people based on their social media, etc., and traveled back in time to cause issues. And you could also add that a female detective travels to the future to solve the mysteries and save the victims. Like, I don't know. I don't, it's not so clear. You know how Notes app can be. It's not so clear, but he time traveled in this story. In this story idea, from what I can tell, it's been a long time I wrote it. He travels because he's bored. You can explore the story in this way, that at first it's just like benign things and just like little things he does, right, that does not raise any red flag. So he is a security guard in a time travel museum. Like, just like we have museum for art, we have, you know, time travel machines, whatever. They have become relics, right? And no one uses them because of the harm they can cause to the, whatever they call it, time space continuum or whatever it's called, to reality as a whole. And so this guy gets bored and he goes exploring, and a little mischief eventually cascades into something really big or whatever. So that is the first idea. Okay, so the second story I'm a bit reluctant to let go of because I really, 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 really love it. Even though I cannot really remember, what I was thinking, like the full extent of thought I had concerning this story, I really know I love it so much. However, I'm gonna let it go. So let's read from the Notes app. Okay, two women are stranded somewhere. So that, I think that I meant on sea. They're stranded in a body of water, maybe an island, kind of, and so they're fighting the elements on a piece of wood. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like just think of the Titanic and the wood floating, right? So they're fighting the elements and they are stranded at sea, right? And they cannot remember how they got there, but they remember some parts of their lives, right? And they're both grieving, one a lifelong pet and the other a child. Okay, so the one grieving a child despises the one grieving a pet, obviously. Like, sometimes that happens, right? Because a child is different. I don't know. This is not supposed to cause any issue with anybody, please. So anyways, but they eventually find a middle ground, right? So they're both grieving, and the one grieving a child, of course, feels like the one grieving a pet, like their pain is not equal, right? But eventually they both find a middle ground, and then they eventually put together, you know, pieces of their memory long enough to realize that they were driven mad by grief and had to be put under by their families. So there's a new tech that can put people under for far more safely than anything currently in use. So it's a sci-fi, like in the future, right? And so put under, they can be put under, you can make it like a utopian world that has a dystopian undertone. Just think of Black Mirror, right? So um they, maybe in this world, like happiness is like, you know, there's tech to make us happy now, and so like their families do not understand like why they are sad, right? And so they had to be put on that, right? Because they're killing the vibes, right? So you could explore that. I also wrote like for myself like a note that, like, as the world unfolds and the women put together their memories, you could show signs that the world isn't real, even as the world unfolds, even before they finally realize that they are in a suspended state, and you know the bodies they actually feel is not their actual bodies, right? It's maybe their consciousness, I don't know, you know. But I had an idea for this that was really nice. So eventually they realize that, you know, they're trapped or something. So that is the second idea. This next one is not necessarily a story, but phrases for potential story. It's a phrase for a potential story, and it is inspired by my gardening, right? By my composting, and by nature, right? The by nature generally, by my time as a gardener. Okay, so it's just phrases like, it's, think of your angry love confession, right? In all the great big love stories. So this is not necessarily a story per se, but like a phrase, a scene in what could be a love story. Okay, so this is it. So she's, of course, from this you can tell, like, you know, the one of the characters, the male character, is like a gardener, someone who works with like compost and rot, whatever. So she tells him that this love, and all this love, I fear it's gonna rot in my chest, in my soul, become something vile and rotten, something that people can smell on me and retreat. And then I'd even be more lonely and evil and rotten and very evil, because no one starts out evil, you know, no one starts out rotten. So and then he replies, you can feel free to rot XYZ, because I haven't named her. I deal with rot every day. It's a precursor to rich, healthy soil in the hands of the right person. Your rot is safe with me. Isn't that the sweetest thing you've ever heard? Okay, so like from here I can get some context. So maybe they're friends, you know, maybe this is a friend to lover story, right? And so she is maybe desperate for romantic love, and maybe tired of putting herself out there and, you know, seeing other people get their happy endings, right? And so she confesses to him that she's scared that all the feelings she has is gonna rot inside of her. And he's like, oh, don't you worry about that, I am a gardener. I deal with compost, I deal with rotten material, and it's a precursor to healthy whatever. And so that is such a beautiful, beautiful phrase that can inspire your love story. So the fourth story is a bit of a comedy, and it's about a woman who has the gift of making her bees do whatever she wants, right? She is a villain and she uses her bees frequently to attack her enemies, right? But she eventually becomes a reluctant heroine, right? So it gives so much, it gives so much to work with, like comedically or like comedy wise. Because imagine someone who like is a hermit and doesn't like to associate with people much, but she has an apiary, right? And she has bees and sells honey, whatever, and she frequently uses her bees to attack people because she has the gift of making them do whatever she wants, right? Eventually she gets enlisted by the townspeople to help save them from a greater enemy, and she, you know, steps up reluctantly, right? She steps up reluctantly and becomes a reluctant heroine. So I think it gives so much to work with, and can be a really, really funny story. The last but not the least is, it's not really a fully fleshed story, but yeah, it, the title is How to Survive the Apocalypse, a story kinda. So you write the story in second place, sorry, you write the story in second person, and you explore the story through what we're supposed to do in an apocalypse, right? So this is like, I gave myself a little tip on how to write it. Meet our protagonist, you. The world has just ended and you is panicking. So what are we supposed to do? Like, get water. So you explore it through that lens, and I think that it's a fun exercise. It might not be something that you can publish, but it's a fun way to like um, expand your creativity or test your creativity. So you explore all we're supposed to do in an apocalypse, right? But through the lens of a story. So get water, go to safety, shelter in place, all those kind of things. You can explore it through the lens of, you know, an apocalypse guide. I don't know if that makes sense, but that would be all for this video. If you loved it and you want to see more, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.